Hey everyone, thank you for clicking on today's video. Today I'm really excited to give you guys another What's for Dinner video. This is going to be featuring some Gobble recipes. Gobble is a meal subscription service similar to Every Plate, which I have a review. And I decided not to do a formal review on Gobble, which I'll get into in a minute, but I just am really excited to show you guys some of these recipes. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I made was this honey garlic chicken. This is not from the box. This is an Instant Pot recipe I found on Pinterest, and it was really good. So I started with putting chicken breast tenders in the Instant Pot, and then I went to make my sauce. I will have the recipe linked down below, but just note that I did have this recipe, so the measurements might just be a little off from what you might see in the recipe. But basically you're going to start with I think I did 2 or 3 cloves of garlic, and then I added a 1/4 cup of honey, and then I added a 1/4 cup of soy sauce, as well as some ketchup, which I ended up just eyeballing. And then I just added some avocado oil and stirred that together. And then I decided to add red pepper flakes because my sister tried this before me and said it needed a little spice. Then you pour the sauce over the chicken, and this is enough liquid for your Instant Pot. You don't have to add any water or anything. So you're going to secure the lid, hit the meat button, or you can do the manual pressure, and then you're going to set the timer for 10 minutes and make sure your vent is set to sealing. And then once it is done, you're going to release the pressure. I'm always scared to do this. I'm always worried I'm going to burn myself. Then once it is done, you take the chicken out and put your Instant Pot on saute, and then you make a slurry out of cornstarch and water. If you don't have cornstarch, you could do this with flour, and it usually will work out fine. The recipe does call for cornstarch, and you're going to add that to the sauce and just stir it until it becomes thickened, and then you're going to pour it over the chicken. And I cooked up some yellow rice, and then I added some peas and carrots that was from like a frozen bag, and that is what it looks like. And this really cured a Chinese food craving. It was so good. I would definitely make again. Now, this recipe is from Gobble. This is a Greek chicken sandwich. I thought this was very good. I would definitely make this again, probably just with my own little twist. So first, you're going to cut up a cucumber. The cucumber they gave me wasn't very good, so I decided to use my own. So you're just going to slice it up because that's going to be for your salad that you make on the side. I'm going to be slicing up tomato for the salad and also for the sandwich. And then I'm going to quarter a lemon. I didn't read the instructions, and if I'd known that all you're doing is like juicing, putting lemon juice as like a finishing touch, I would have just halved it because I do have a lemon juicer. I just kind of forgot I had it. And the potatoes didn't come in the box. I decided to make potato wedges for Cody because I know that he wouldn't eat the salad that comes with it, so I decided to just make him some simple potato wedges in the air fryer. I just coated them with avocado oil, and then I put seasoned salt on them. So to get started on the sandwich, you put the chicken breast in a bowl and you cover it with half of the marinade that they give you. I can't remember what this was called, so I would have to just type it down below. I am going to try to find the recipes on Gobble and link these below because you don't need the box to make them, or I'm going to find a similar recipe and link that down below. But basically you're just going to coat the chicken in this marinade and let it set for a couple minutes while you get a pan heated. You could always just buy like Greek salad dressing and do the sandwich. I think it would be fine. Or if you have like Italian dressing on hand that you want to get rid of, I think marinating chicken breast in that and frying it up and eating it on a sandwich always tastes really good as well. So then I just cook that for 3 minutes on one side, flip it, and then I cover it and cook it for 8 more minutes. And then with my thermometer, I'm going to check the temp. Chicken is cooked at 165. And then I'm going to wipe out the frying pan and toast up the brioche buns that they give you. And then I'm going to make the salad. So the salad is really simple. It's just spinach, cucumber, tomato. It did come with onions to put in it, but I don't like onions. And then you add some more of the marinade, salt, pepper, and then you add a little bit of lemon juice, and then you toss it together. It was actually really good, especially at the end I put feta on top, and it was a really good sandwich. So then after my chicken breasts have rested, I'm just slicing them up, and then I'm going to be assembling the sandwiches. On my sandwich, I put down the tzatziki that they give you on the bottom, and then I just layered the chicken, put on some tomato, squeezed a little lemon juice, and then I add a little bit more tzatziki on the top bun, and then I just pressed it together, and that was a really, really good sandwich. And then for Cody's sandwich, I knew he wouldn't really like the whole Greek thing, so I just put some cheddar cheese on the bottom bun, put the chicken, and I covered his with barbecue sauce, just Sweet Baby Ray's, and then I put his potato wedges on the side, and he really liked that. So the next thing I made was this shrimp linguini, also from the box. I made this on Valentine's Day, so it was a nice little romantic dinner to make. So the first thing is to cut this preserved lemon in half and scoop out the inside. This is actually funny. So preserved lemon is kind of like a pickled lemon, and you actually don't eat the inside. You cut up the rind because it obviously like softens, and you actually use that in the recipe. But when I got the preserved lemon out of the bag that they give you with all the ingredients, I was like, oh my god, they gave me a like foul lemon. Like I thought it was a lemon that had gone bad. So I was like trying to figure out what I could use instead, and then I looked it up and realized that it's actually supposed to be that way. And I'm also going to be picking off some parsley off the stems and just finally chopping that. That's just going to be for the garnish. You sprinkle it on top at the end. And I am going to just take a second and explain why I'm not doing a formal review of this box, because you're going to see what I do kind of next, and I feel like it's kind of self-explanatory. So Gobble is really expensive. It's like, it depends what you get. Each like meal almost has like its own price, and I got it with like a coupon, so I only had to pay like $25 for the box. But I personally couldn't recommend this to you guys at the price that you pay for it, because without the coupon, I believe it's like close to $80 a box. And I know a lot of people defend like the more expensive boxes, and yes, some of these things I wouldn't have cooked if it wasn't for the box. But I do think I can take $80 and go to the grocery store and easily get a full week's worth of groceries, if not 2 weeks, especially just the way I like to shop. And so I really can't recommend Gobble for you. These recipes were good, but if you were to try out any meal subscription service, I'm going to leave my link to my like formal review of every plate, which is a third of the price of Gobble. And the recipes, we always like the recipes we get from every plate. I still get it from time to time to this day. So I will leave that link down below, as well as like my referral link to every plate. If you use that coupon, I think you get like $10 off your box, and then I receive some sort of credit. So it's kind of like a win for you, win for me kind of situation. So as you can see, I am cooking up the shrimp until it is pink. And this only took like, I think like 3 minutes on each side. And then I'm going to transfer those to a plate, and then we're going to use the pan to make our sauce. So I'm just going to add a little bit more oil, and then I'm going to add this shallot and butter confit, it was called. Basically, I think it's just finely chopped garlic and shallots, so obviously you could just do that yourself. I'll actually find like a shrimp scampi recipe and link it down below. I think shrimp scampi is actually really simple, and you don't need to make it this way. I don't think you need preserved lemon or like all these fancy ingredients. I've made it before, and it's usually really, really easy, so I'll just find a recipe and link it down below that would be somewhat similar to this. So obviously you saw I added the preserved lemon rind, the sun-dried tomatoes, and the bottle of cooking wine they give you. I also put the linguini in the pot. That only took about 4 minutes. That was the first time I've used like fresh pasta, and it actually was really good. Then I'm adding peas to my sauce, as well as the butter pads that they give you. And then I'm going to be adding the linguini to the sauce, as well as a little bit of the pasta water, and just letting that come together and letting the noodles soak up the sauce. So to plate up, obviously I'm going to just evenly divide the pasta, and then I just made sure to put enough, equal shrimp on each plate, and I just try to make it look pretty since it was Valentine's Day, and I just kind of wanted a romantic dinner. This was really good. I do think, like I said, I can find a more simple recipe and leave it down below for you guys. I think that shrimp scampi is just a really easy thing to make, but you don't need all these fancy ingredients. So the next thing I'm going to be making from the box is butternut squash ravioli, and since I knew that Cody would want meat, I decided to make some pork chops on this side. So these are just some boneless pork chops, and I'm going to salt, pepper, and put paprika on each side of the pork chop and lay it on a baking sheet with aluminum foil that I sprayed with cooking spray. Then I'm going to season the other side. Then I'm going to be adding this raised mustard, which is a Maine mustard brand, and this is the brown ginger flavor that I got from Rennie's, and this was really good on top of the pork chops. I would definitely do this again, and that mustard is really good. I'm not a huge mustard fan, but I like trying different flavored mustards. Like, I really like honey mustard, but that's really kind of it when it comes to mustard. I don't like yellow mustard at all. So now I'm going to be starting on the ravioli, and I'm going to be starting with the brown butter sauce. Now, brown butter was always something that intimidated me. I always thought there's no way I could make it successfully, but I just followed the directions and did what it said, and it actually ended up coming together quite nicely. So I think I might try to make brown butter sauce again for something else. I know that there's you can make cookies with brown butter. Let me know if you guys want to see a video where I try that out, because that sounds really good. So basically, to make brown butter, you're going to melt the butter, and you see the foam at the top. You're going to keep shaking the frying pan to kind of dissipate the bubbles. And what that's going to do is going to make the milk solids kind of sink to the bottom, and the milk solids brown, and that's how you get brown butter. So as you can see now, the butter has brown, so I'm going to add my sage. I decided to just add it whole and then take it out. I didn't really want sage leaves eating them. I don't know why, I just did. So basically you're just going to fry the sage until it's browned and kind of crispy, and then you're going to add the pecans that they give you, as well as the golden raisins. I didn't think Cody would like this, but he said he did. I don't think it's something he would want me to make again, because he's not a raisin fan, and I really bet he's not really a pecan fan. I don't even think he's into nuts at all. So then I'm going to boil off the butternut squash ravioli. It looked like I almost was worried that it had oxidized, but I think it was whole wheat ravioli, and it ended up tasting fine. But once it was all cooked, I just drained it and added it to the brown butter sauce, and then carefully mixed it around. I didn't really want to break up the ravioli, and I thought that the ravioli was actually really good. It kind of tasted similar to sweet potato casserole. If I had to point out what exactly it tasted like, that to me is the closest description I can give. It kind of tasted like a sweet potato type thing, but it was really good, and those pork chops were really delicious. So I would definitely make the pork chops again. The ravioli, I would want to try butternut squash ravioli again. I just feel like I would want to try different variations. Have you guys ever had it? And if so, how do you guys cook it and eat it? So that was it for the Gobble recipes, and this last recipe is a cheesy chicken and rice casserole that I made. This was a good way to use up some stuff in the fridge. So basically I'm going to start by making a cheese sauce. I used 3 tablespoons of butter and 3 tablespoons of flour, and you're just going to stir that together, and you're creating a roux. So it's just basically you're making a paste. And then I added milk. I don't have exact measurements. I will try my best to kind of guesstimate, but basically, as you can see, this is basically what I'm doing, and you can create this at home. And this is a good way to use up cheese that you might have in your house. I had some sliced deli cheese that was cracked black pepper cheddar cheese, and then I also had some shredded cheddar cheese, and I think I even added some American to it too. It's just a good way to use up any open cheeses that you feel like you need to use up. And then I had leftover rice and leftover chicken breast that I actually brought home from work that day, so this was actually a really easy, quick and cheap meal, because obviously I got the rice and the chicken for free from work. So basically what I'm doing is just chopping up the chicken breast that I got into little bite-sized cubes and adding it to the rice and stirring it together. And then I decided to add just some frozen peas. You could also add broccoli, make this a cheesy chicken broccoli and rice casserole. Cody just would prefer the peas, so that's what I added. And then I added the cheese sauce. And then I just put it into my casserole dish. I need a bigger casserole pan. That is the biggest size I have. And as you can see with the end clip that I'm about to show you, it ended up kind of bubbling over. So I definitely need to invest in a real casserole pan, if that makes sense. Obviously, I know this is still a baking dish, but you know what I mean. I want a 13x9 casserole dish, but that's what it looked like, and it was so good, you guys. And it was such a stick to your ribs kind of meal. And that is everything for this What's for Dinner. I really enjoyed making this for you guys, and I've been really enjoying making these types of meal videos. I think that they're really fun to make, and it gives you guys some ideas for dinner. So if you guys want to keep seeing What's for Dinner videos, please let me know down below. And if you like this video, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already. You can just go ahead and click that little red thing, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!